BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
The following podcast contains strong language and adult themes.
Go on, Mike.
The pod's just got off to absolute shambolic start again.
No, actually.
You're a pervert.
No, I'm not a pervert.
You are a pervert.
No, you're a pervert.
Maths is void now, isn't it, really?
There's no sound in space.
I'm not disrespecting the Pope.
I can't get into the ladies.
Why don't you just go in as Chris and come out as Christoph?
What is smell?
I'm not Attenborough, do you know what I mean? But
This podcast is the biggest con on the BBC.
we're having it off here. Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch. Tom Fordyce and Chris Stark are with me in the pub, but there's also a fourth person with us today.
This is different for us, boys.
Oh, I feel great about this. I'm in awe. We have a guest. Premier League referee Mike Dean is with us here today. How are you, Mike?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself? You look a bag of nerves, by the way. Both of you. You look petrified.
He's been buzzing for this. I came up with him on the train today and he's like, he loves a ref.
You're a weird celebrity, aren't you? In the sense
I'm just
that
a ref.
you are. Yeah, you are. But as a football fan, it's very weird seeing you not on a TV when I'm watching football or in the stadium.
Should have worn me kit.
It is strange.
I'm finding it odd even just hearing your voice right now. I've never known what you sound like.
I didn't know you had a voice.
Thanks. Usually just for whistle and cards. That's all I need half the time.
Listen, we're going to get into all of this. There's a
Yes,
lot
we
to
are.
talk about. But Crouchy, we obviously had a week off on the last podcast. What have you been up to this week?
Ab was working in South Africa and I sort of tagged along, really. It was great. Really enjoyed it. Lovely place. Went to Cape Town. Managed to get some cricket in.
Oh, beautiful.
And I'm not a cricket fan, but I'd like to say I'm converted.
Who was the leading run scorer?
I can't tell you.
The South African accent is quite a distinctive one.
There we go.
Yes,
There we go.
In recent parts, you've shown that you have a mastery of so many nations' accents. Just give us a little blast of South African.
Can I have a beer, bro?
Hey.
How's it, bro? I found myself getting caught up in the bro. Yeah, that's absolutely right, bro. All right, bro.
I think this is fine. I don't know.
Start the podcast, bro.
There will be plenty more from Mike Dean on this podcast. But Mike, I think it's important that we need you to pull your weight straight away. All of us have got our roles on this podcast. Crouch is clearly in charge of accents. Somehow I'm head of science. Chris, you look after advertising, don't you? So, Mike Dean, you are officially now head of emails.
Okay, this one's from Jack. The subject is a date with John Moss. He said, my brother's booked tickets to see Morrissey with John Moss, who happens to own his own record shop in Leeds called Vinyl Whistle.
What a name.
Great name for a record shop.
It's good. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't been there, no.
You're not mates with John Moss?
No, I'm good mates with John, yeah, but I don't collect records anymore, do I?
No.
Do you find there's certain referees that you work better with? Is there a kind of like, I can see by your smile that there is.
All referees have got different sense of humours, and there's some guys who are a bit more stricter and don't let themselves go. I go on with the majority of the guys on the list, and we have a good bit of banter.
And John Moss is a good one.
Yeah, John's a good laugh. Yeah, John really is fun.
Do you know what, Chris? I've done some digging on John Moss and his record collection. Crouchy, you would get on like a house on fire.
Yeah, no.
with John Moss.
I saw a programme he did. And yeah, I mean, it looks banging to the stuff that I'm into.
Do you know his top 3 tunes?
No, but are you...
Number 1, Talk Tonight by Oasis.
Oof, all over it.
Number 2, Debaser by Pixies.
Oh, yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
tune. Number 3, Cortina's Not 19 Forever.
One of the best songs ever done.
Great tunes.
Yeah, good stuff, yeah.
John Moss was once asked if he were to put a band together of referees, who he'd have in which role. His answer was that he'd have Martin Atkinson on drums, Michael Oliver on bass, being moody. He'd have Graham Scott on lead guitar. There's no place for Mike Dean.
Rightly so as well. I don't want to play in a bloody group with him. No chance. No chance. Got other things to do with my life.
I had you down as a lead singer.
No. Can't sing to save my life.
What are you into, Mike?
I'm more of an 80s man, me. Absolute 80s is the only thing that goes on my car.
Yeah, I like absolute 80s.
Yeah.
If you were doing karaoke, what would be your 80s tune of choice?
I don't know, really. Ever sang karaoke when I've been abroad before? I probably sang the Beatles, but I wouldn't do it over here. Not a cat in else chance.
You would do it over it on holiday.
Oh, holiday, yeah. Don't care, do you?
Free.
You don't care. You can kind of get away with it.
Do you know, we did a holidays episode recently, didn't we? And I think it came up. Where would a ref go on holiday?
We all go all over the world, to be honest. I go to Spain because I've got a place in Spain. Some of the other lads got a place in Spain.
Would you play golf?
Yeah, well, I've got an apartment on a golf complex in Spain.
And have you bumped into any footballers?
Not yet.
You don't really want to bump into footballers.
Wouldn't bother me, to be fair, because when you see footballers away from the pitches, obviously like tonight with Peter, they're completely different. They're just another person.
Referees and stuff to me were just referees. I never really thought about them as people, I'll be honest. I know it sounds weird, but I would not shout at Mike now like I would shout at him on a pitch.
I hope not. We're having a drink in a pub.
No, but something's happened and you're just so frustrated and the person you take it out on is the ref.
But it's easy to take it out on the ref because you won't take it on your teammates. The easiest person to pick on is the man in black, isn't it?
Do you know sometimes it wasn't even Mike or the referee's decision. It was my own personal performance. I give the ball away or something and I'll just fucking blame the ref. Do you know what I mean? Like, a bit ashamed to say that, really, but that's how it was.
It's true. I mean, as you say, you might make a bad pass, give the referee a bit of grief just to get it off your chest, and we think, where the bloody hell's that come from? 5 seconds later, the game's moved on, you forget about it.
Craig Bellamy said to me, obviously not Craig Bellamy's, I'm sure you've had a few...
yeah, dead easy to referee him.
I'm sure you've had a few run-ins with him. But he'd have to shout at people, like even his own teammates, the referee or anyone, to get himself up for the game.
Mike, do you want to do another message?
Yeah, the next one, message from Jack again. I was on a date, we went bowling, and the highlights were seeing Yossi Benayoun a couple of lanes down. West Ham were due to play Bolton away, and I asked him, are we going to win? And Yossi replied, no.
What a shout.
Just honest.
No confidence whatsoever.
I mean, Bolton was a tough game in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
But
used to hate playing Bolton.
with a massive you didn't like the massive flag, did you?
The flag used to piss
When they
me off
scored.
big time. And oh my God, but you see Kevin Davis was bullying people. Oh, it was a horrible place to go.
Is Yossi Benayoun one of those players who, like,
Great lad, you know. Really good
you've got
lad.
a smile on your face?
No, I
in the story
liked
there.
him a lot. He was,
Cheeky?
He spoke to everyone in their own language. Bright, but it was good fun. And he was a very good player.
It's good at bowling as
Chopping
well,
the bag.
bowling.
Yeah.
That seems like bowling, because it's an odd night out for a footballer, isn't it?
No, bowling's good. I got into it at Villa.
Did you?
Yeah, me, Gareth Barry and Lee Hendry had a bowling
You,
school.
Lee Hendry, be involved.
Had
A bowling school?
We used to go 3 times a week. We upgraded, got our own balls, yeah.
Are you taking the piss? You brought your own ball to a bowling
Yeah, I was single. I don't know. They were getting away with it, but I was going bowling most nights. Did you ever go bowling, Mike?
Yeah, we have a few refs
Do you
nights
like-
out, yeah.
What's a ref's night out like? Good, is it raucous?
We meet up at refs camp every 2 weeks, which is more like training. We have the odd drink now and again. And we have the end of season do when we might go away if someone's retiring as a stag do or something.
But do you do the thing where, let's say you're at the bar, right, and the card payment comes out, and you go to get your debit or credit card out? Do you do that to the waitress?
See, that's the kind of thing you're always going to get by some idiot. It is. By some idiot when you're on holiday. Go, for your card, show us your card, ref, show us your card. But answer the question, no.
What's the Christmas party like?
Fancy dress if you want to have it sometimes.
it?
Yeah.
Fancy
What have you gone as?
The old chicken with my legs hanging out. No, it's a jockey, the same kind of thing as I was a jockey.
Talk us through what other referees did, what a fancy dress.
We had some doing James Bond, Lee Mason done the old, the one that you stroked the cat. What's that one? You'll know it.
Blofeld?
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Some guys dressed up as 60s and 80s singers and stuff. So
Any nuns?
Honestly, if there's any chance he can get a nun in.
He wants Mike Dean in a nun suit as quick as.
just
It's not going to
love
happen.
that.
just
I'd
wouldn't
love
suit the
that.
headdress, would I?
Mike, you're head of emails. Do you want to do one more email?
Can you do the one from Abby? Because it will give you a good taste of what this podcast is
The
like.
one from Abby. I haven't even rehearsed this one. I recently stumbled across a Twitter account called Footballers with Tits.
Yeah.
To my horror, I found this Future of Peter, Big Sam and Wayne Rooney are also available.
Let's get it up.
Footballers with Tits, that's a good one.
There's me, Mike.
No, they're not bad then.
Let's have a look. Oh, my Lord.
It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Are they the breasts you'd expect to see on Crouchy if you had breasts?
No. Have you had this, Mike? Have you had a Mike Dean with tits? Or
I hope not. No, I
Oh,
haven't
my
heard of it,
God.
no.
I've just seen Wayne Rooney's.
Yeah, there's a...
Look at that. What was your reaction to it?
Oh, fucking hell.
Mate, that's a shocker.
Has there ever been a
I've just been
conversation?
sent Sam Allardyce with tits.
Yeah, this is the bad one. This is the one I've seen.
I'm not sure I want to
Have
see
you
this.
seen this,
No,
Mike?
no, go on. The face is good. That's about it. The face isn't. The face looks pretty like him, but it just looks a bit strange, doesn't it?
It's what? How bizarre is this?
Sam Allardyce has been it's been drawn with vast areolae.
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
So, Mike, you wake up on a Saturday, you're refereeing a big Premier League game. How much do you plan out your day?
Well, all four of us are usually in the hotel the night before. So myself, 2 assistants and the fourth official. We send an email out in the week. If you want to meet for breakfast at 9 o'clock, we'll meet at 9. Go from there. Some guys like to sleep in, have breakfast delivered and get up whenever they want to get up.
Couple of beers night before.
It has been known in the past, a long time ago, a bit more focused on my job now. That was a wing. That was a wing, by the way.
Large one out in town.
Boys, we should knock this on the head. We're refereeing tomorrow. Yeah, but this is a great tune. Let's start.
One more drink.
But sometimes when you get to the hotel and you march from home, and I might have 1 or 2 sometimes now, because sometimes it makes you sleepy. You know, hotel on your own. You know, it is hard work, and players probably be the same sometimes, if not drinking, but find it hard to sleep. Get up for breakfast in the morning. We probably sit there for an hour and a half, and just talk about how the game might pan out. We've got some clips on laptops and things if we want.
So hang on, you'll watch clips of players you're about to referee?
If need be, yeah. Say backtrack a few years with Kevin Nolan when Kevin played for Bolton or West Ham or Newcastle. Every time a corner come in, where was he stood? Always on the keeper. Not necessarily block it, but just being in that way. So you've got to be aware if he does make a move towards the keeper.
But hang on, did you ever watch clips of Crouchy?
Awkward.
Was I?
Proper awkward. Only because the bloody size you have.
Oh, okay.
Gangly.
Well phrased, Mike.
Yeah, well, it is.
Mike, so after you have breakfast, what's next?
Basically, go back to the room, get ourselves sorted, make a few phone calls, speak to a few of the lads, and then have a meeting room in the hotel 4 hours before. So we've got to be in there and just have a general chat about the game that's coming up.
Who's that with? The assistant?
2 assistants and the fourth official, yeah.
And the fourth.
And then we get a people carrier come and pick us up 3 hours before the kick-off, take us in the stadium.
What do you wear on the way to the
This
ground?
was my question.
On the way to for us from this year, we can wear tracksuits and polo shirt.
Is there a ref trackie, or is it just like your own?
No, we've all got the
same tracksuit.
yeah,
Is
all
it a nice
tracksuits.
tracksuit?
It's just a plain.
Would you wear it around the house? Is it?
No.
So when you meet in the hotel,
Yeah,
I was
go on,
wondering
sorry.
this as well. Are you, to a certain extent, shut off from everyone? Are you in kind of a quarantine?
No, it's just open breakfast with everybody
But then
else.
do you ever
yeah.
have situations where clubs that are playing in the games connect? Because surely they have to stay away from
Yeah,
the
we wouldn't.
referees,
What
don't
would
they?
happen? We have designated hotels for each ground. So obviously Stoke, when they were in the Premier League, we stayed the whole year right on the motorway.
Oh, hello. That's you
not,
stayed there, then.
Not many clubs would stay there, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a shithole.
So, well,
Oh, hang on, we did the podcast from there once.
exactly.
I used to stay there because I used to see the refs there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I used to stay sometimes before home games. It was really close to the stadium.
The guy who books all our hotels and stuff, if they found the club was staying at the hotel night before, we'd just get moved to another hotel. Sensible, really, isn't it?
Once you get into the stadium,
Yeah.
is it right that the club will provide you with masseur, physio, and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've got our own masseur with work for the Premier League. So on about 10 or 12 grounds, they'll provide the masseur, and some of the grounds that they don't provide, actual home club will provide it as well.
How much distance do you cover in a game?
The least you would probably do would be at least 10k, at least 10k. Then between 12 and 13, depending on the game and whatever. But I don't do that far. I read the game better, me. Don't have to run. And plus the fact I'm 51 now, so I can't run as good as much as I used to. I mean, you see the younger referees now at mid-30s, they're running around all over the place, which is great. And I was doing the same 20 years ago. But the older you get, the more experience you get a lot more respect off the players. I can make a decision on Saturday from 30 yards away, players will turn around, and because it's me, I'll get away with it without being big-headed. But you can get a younger referee, who's only been 2 or 3 years, he might make the same decision, and he'll get grief because he's too far away and he's not as well in with the players, if you know what I mean.
Another question about what happens before a game, Mike.
Yeah.
Does the club provide you food, or do you bring a packed lunch?
No, the food.
Hard-hitting
No,
fucking journalism here
no,
from
but-
Fordyce.
Chief sports writer at the BBC, everybody.
I thought he was going to get onto the VAR question.
Yeah.
He went for
Not interested.
He went for the packed lunch question.
No, years ago. Yeah. Same with footballers years ago. It was different. The food would be different. And we used to take our own stuff. And some guys still take their own energy bars and things like that.
There you go.
But we're not a packed lunch. We ain't got a Tupperware box in a bag.
What's the food like then? Is it the same food as the players get?
Yeah. Because the clubs have to provide hot food before and afterwards for us.
So what are we talking? Pizzas, chicken wings?
Yeah. Chicken wings, lovely. Yeah.
Favourite ground? Arsenal? I'm talking for the food. You get what the players get. It's top notch.
Yeah. We have a little room with the guests, so they come with us. Our guests come in, we go in, and you just get a sit down meal if you want it. So
It's incredible. You two are bonding, by the way.
We are bonding. Yeah.
I still don't fully understand the massage situation for the players. I can imagine Dre in a little room. The door opens. He's in there. some lovelies are massaging him.
The motherfucking DRE, right? What is Andre Mariner like?
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good laugh, Andre, yeah.
Have you called
Does
him
he
Dre?
introduce himself as Dre?
Never.
What about the referee's room? What is that sort of? What is it?
They're just an average, just what changing room, just an average room.
Is
Some
it?
are bigger than others, yeah. So
Which club has got the most luxurious referees room?
Tottenham, probably now.
That's so Spurs, that.
Yeah. Tottenham's
What's it like?
Oh, just huge, massive.
Is it how big? Like,
Couple of settees in there, couple of big TVs in there, massage room, separate dressing room. So, but the dressing room is a lot better now than what it used to be years ago.
When you step out on the peach? On the beach? It's like one of your accents.
Okay, bro.
when you step out,
Okay, bro, when you step out on the peach.
when you step out on the pitch, Mark.
Right. When you step out on the pitch, do you, and I'd ask you to answer this as honestly as you can, like, do you put on a persona? Are you then Mike Dean, the referee? Do you have an air about you where it's
Yeah, I
performance?
walk out and I'm confident with me, without being arrogant. There's a touch of arrogance about me when I walk on the pitch, and I know there is, but it's also a lot of confidence in myself because I believe in my own ability. So,
But is it fair to say that Mike Dean, the referee, is sometimes a bit of a performance, so to speak?
showman, you mean?
Showman. Yeah, good way to put it.
Yeah, I do come across like that. I think because of the way I referee, and I do, if the ball goes towards me, I won't jump out the way I let it go between my legs. I will do, because that's just how it is.
Do you enjoy that though? Because you love a step over.
I love a step
don't you?
over, mate. I do. But it just because it's just there and you just do it. But I love the job I do, and the way I referee, it kind of comes out that I'm enjoying what I do.
It does feel like a bit of a performance, And
You're probably right.
Maybe a performance is the wrong word, because then that suggests.
No, it's probably no. You're probably right, because I've had this for probably the last 10 years, and it's been with me, and you kind of get more confident in what you do on the field of play. So if I didn't do it, I wouldn't feel comfortable not doing it. So if I went out like next weekend, I thought, right, I won't. If the ball comes in, me move out the way. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'd be all over the place.
Yeah.
I've just got to be myself on the pitch, or I just won't referee properly.
What is the most, this might be an odd question, but go with it. What is the most Mike Dean thing you think you've ever done?
Refereeing,
Yeah.
probably the stupid Tottenham Aston Villa advantage I did about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Just for people who didn't see that, just describe what you did.
Well, I've kind of played on, and you don't really play on when it's in the box because it's just the wrong thing to do. You don't play an advantage in the box. You either give a pen or you don't do nothing. And when it's gone to the back, and I've just gone, that'll do for me, go. But I didn't realise I've pointed the centre circle, but I didn't realise I was doing it as much until they showed it on the screen. One of these and said, oh, have a look at the TV. And yeah, no, I'm going to get a bit of a bollocking tomorrow, I think. No, that's the most bizarre thing I think I've done.
What about the old ball up the...
Yeah, that was just a bit of fun. Again, that just comes with me personality on the pitch, I think. I've done it before. I hit the ball or somewhere, or he's took it off, but it's just a bit of a laugh on it.
What are the cliched things that a referee on a night out, when he's spotted by someone, gets to hear?
There's a ref there. Have you, anyone got a beer, Matt? Here we go again. And Miss will go, no bed, usual stuff,
Is that number one? Number one beer mat card.
Or have you got your cards on you?
Got your card.
I'm always going to carry my red and yellow cards in my wallet, aren't I?
Number 2, what's the next one?
You haven't got a whistle, have you? I'm out with my missus having a drink. Why would I have my whistle in my pocket?
Well, when you're on a plane and they say that there's a whistle in case you need attention, you've never been tempted to give it a blow on a plane.
He's using all of them.
Why would I have it on the plane? No.
What else do people say to you? Is it like, let's say you're paying with a card, you're doing contactless payment in a coffee shop. Does anyone ever say, come on, Mike, show us the card?
Have you ever done contactless and done it like that?
No, but I should do for a laugh.
The thing is, you've heard all of these, and the worst thing is, like, the tool gags for me, it's just so boring.
The worst thing is when you're having a meal, when you're away, Mrs. There's a couple spotted you over there, he's going to ask for a photo. I thought, yeah, come on, hurry up. And then 10 minutes later, they haven't come over. They mustn't know me. Then you get your steak, and just about to stick into your steak, he goes, excuse me, Mike. I said, what? He said, I'm not interrupting you. I said, well, you've been there for 10 minutes, and I've got my steak, and now you want to ask a photo with me. I said,
yellow card.
Bit early, you wouldn't go, miss. Here's that card in my wallet. There's that card in my wallet before you ask for it.
You know what you need to do, Mike? We've started doing this on the podcast, so people come up to Crouchy, and the easiest way for him to deal with it, we were saying, instead of doing all the photos, is just throw a hand out and let them kiss the ring. And people are doing it. I mean, we were on the train earlier.
We had one up
This
on the way here.
is
Yeah.
bad.
I didn't tell you that. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
What happened?
No, he went to kiss it. I said, just don't worry about it, mate. And he went, oh, I've got to kiss the ring. I'm not. And I went, no, don't worry. Honestly, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just an easy way to throw people off, mate. If you just got one standard thing, so instead of having to wait around, just throw a hand out, people can kiss the ring. Thoughts?
Nah, not for me, no.
The technique of taking a card from your back of your shorts or your breast pocket do you referees discuss, because we talked about this, Crouchy,
We have talked about this.
right,
Yeah.
how we would show a card if we were a referee. How do you settle on your card showing technique?
And also, do you feel like when it's a red, do you get excited as if like, oh, I'm going to bang this red out?
I don't get. I
Because
don't
what
get.
Crouchy's thinking is, yes, you do.
I don't get excited. I just hope I've got it right. I don't want to go bang and go shit.
But you never take it up slowly and go, it's a red, mate. Sorry. You go, fucking get off.
Well, I wouldn't use them words, but I might say.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I might
It's like-
say
it's
off your
quite an
bum or something like that,
aggressive
but
red
I
or
wouldn't.
like
I wouldn't
do
say that. You know.
Do you delay sometimes
No,
as well?
no, because if you die, it makes it worse. I think.
It's more.
Just put him out of his misery.
Where did your technique come from? Talk us through your personal technique. Who are your influences?
No, nobody really. I mean, my yellow card's always been me front left. My red card's always been me back, and I've got
Do you
two
get
on
a choice where you put your cards?
there. No. Well,
Is it always back, the red?
my red's always back. Yeah. For
Can you answer this honestly? Do you enjoy giving a red card?
Don't enjoy.
I think you enjoy it.
I think
When you know 100% it's a red, right?
Yeah.
Do you go, right, how am I going to give this
Here we
one?
go.
No, it just comes out the back pocket. I don't wazz it in the air and give me arms. It just comes out the back pocket.
Yeah.
He knows what's coming.
But what do you say to him as well? You're a
Nothing.
bit like,
Nothing.
Ever.
No, because you don't speak much anymore. Years ago, the protocol was take the name and this kind of stuff. But it's just because everybody knows each other now. And like when somebody wants a yellow card and you say, come here, you say, just show us yellow card. I just get out of the way. Why do we need to face you? That kind of stuff. So it's moved on so much now.
So if Chris were to become a referee, what technique would you advise Chris, like for his card showing? Should he develop a Chris Stark?
Well, it depends if he's
trademark?
left-handed or right-handed as well, you see.
right-handed generally,
Right, so you-
left-handed for
Left-handed for...
right-handed for writing, left-handed for golf.
And shin pads.
Should put it on my shin pads. Have you ever done it in the bedroom where you're just there behind and it's like,
Oh, my God.
bam?
And where would I put the
So
card?
sorry, Mike.
No, don't worry about it. So where would I put the card then if I was in the bedroom?
That's a fair
No,
point.
you asked the question. Come on, let's have the answer. Go on.
It's a very fair point. Yeah.
With your contact
Probably
in
has.
refereeing, have you ever heard of a referee who has been asked by a woman or a man to dress up as a referee in the bedroom?
No.
You come on that face.
No, I haven't.
Really?
What did you say then? That was really bad wording.
What happened there?
Crouch going for the spectacular. Oh, what a goal from Peter Crouch!
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
You know, at half time, are you allowed to text out? Do you text your mates and go, I've just had a fucking mare? You'll never guess what I've just done. I've just sent off.
Now, we've got a
dot, dot,
protocol
dot.
where the phones are going to be off an hour and a half before, and we can't turn them on until 45 minutes after.
So 45 minutes comes, you turn on your phone.
Yeah.
Are there weeks you just get a barrage?
Oh, yeah. But it comes with a job, doesn't it?
Does the grief from the players or the management staff, does it ever affect you?
The players now doesn't bother me. When I first started, it did, because you think, right, yeah, have I really been that bad? And, you know, I probably was at the time, but I can handle it now. So if I get grief, if I'm driving home on a Saturday night, I'm getting grief on the radio, it's just laughable, some of the stuff.
But that's amazing to me because there are very few humans in history who have had 30,000 people in unison calling them a wanker.
I'm just privileged to be one of them.
Where do you stand on speaking to managers after a game about decisions you've made during a game?
If they want to ask a question, they always come in. Mourinho comes in, win, lose or draw. He always comes in and gives his point of view across, good or bad. You know, sometimes it's good. Within half an hour of the game, they can come in.
Have you ever had like blazing rows?
No,
for a
I've
while?
had a few managers come in and just giving their point of view across, and you're trying to give your point of view across. You think you made the right decision. If you made a wrong decision, you're trying to justify it, which I used to years ago. But you think to yourself, if he comes in, you drop the bollock, then you just say, yeah, look, I've seen it. I've dropped the bollock. I hold my hands up, end off. You can't change. You can't in the dressing room.
When do you see it? Do you tend to go in after the game and then see?
No, we're not allowed to put the TVs on in the dressing room out before the kick-off, or half-time or full-time. Delegate comes down after the game. We have a few clips at tackles and penalties we might have missed or given. So,
Mike, I learned something about you early today. You used to work in a chicken factory.
yeah, foul job it was. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He was ready for that. He was ready for
I'm ready in the car on the way here. Don't you worry. Yes, they did.
How long did you work in a chicken factory and what was your role?
16 years. Went there, worked on the shop floor, dealing with the insides of the bird, and then I moved up to supervisor at the business end where they came in live, and we had to kill them basically.
Really?
How are you?
16 years, that's a long time, long stint.
When shift manager, we ended up killing 40,000 chickens a day. Yeah.
It was giving fouls instead of killing fouls.
That was good from you,
That wasn't
Crouchy.
bad, actually.
Thank you. That is maybe not one I eat chicken anymore.
Chicken walked in here now. Could you
Yes.
kill it?
Yes. Without a shadow of a doubt.
How quickly could you kill a chicken?
Depends how quick I can catch it.
That is so weird.
Can you eat chicken? Because, you know, if you get a job...
I never
sometimes-
used to when I first started there because I used to go home stinking of the stuff. Literally, but I'll eat it now.
So how did you move from that to what's the
Yeah, the
what's
transition.
what happened?
Well, I was doing refereeing anyway, like local stuff, and I was doing both jobs. I basically had to go in at 6 o'clock, do my shift till 2 o'clock, get home, get me bag, drive to Carlisle, Hartlepool, Scunthorpe, wherever, go and referee, get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, straight back in work at 5, and that's how it was for 4 or 5 years. Killer.
Isn't that
Killer.
incredible to hear? Because I think you're at the highest level of refereeing, and you've had to work bloody hard to get to that level, right? And it is a story that I don't think a lot of football fans would necessarily.
It
know.
is a tough. It's only a small percent actually make it to the top.
Did you play as a kid? Is that why you got into refereeing?
I was played in goal till I was about 14, 15, finished school, didn't get a job for 6 months, put on loads of weight. I went to about 18, 19 stone, put on loads of weight. And
Did you?
Yeah, I just need to do something. Just sat at home all day watching rubbish TV. So,
Like
Eating
Crouchy in
chicken.
retirement.
yeah. And then, but then I just need something to get fit. So just started refereeing.
Did you have this drive to be a referee?
I wouldn't say I had the drive to be a referee. I mean, when I finished school, I said I put on loads of weight. You don't realise when you pass in 1985 what you could achieve because it was never a full-time job. It was always a part-time job. So we always used to have school teachers, bank managers, used to be referees, and that was it. And in 2000, it all changed. And I think people now who start refereeing know they can make a career out of it if they knuckle down and work hard and get it. So it was a no-brainer when they ring you up and say, we're offering you a position as full-time referee on the select group, or do you want to stay doing your job and kill chickens?
Imagine the reaction of the chicken factory when those chickens find out as well. Dean's gone!
It's mad your job. You're Premier League every weekend, right? Do you ever pinch yourself with the job that you're doing?
Obviously, when I first got on, I got on the list at the same time as a big name referees were on. Obviously, your Poles, your Barbers, your Durkins, your Duns, them kind of people are on. Joining the group then it was very, very hard for me to speak up and talk. You wouldn't start gypsying off straight away, would you? I just had to take my time and then just gradually build yourself in and get involved in the group.
What's training like for a ref?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so we'll all train together then. Referees will train on one pitch, assistant referees will train on the other pitch.
Ooh.
Do you wear the bra?
I do need the bra as well.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
No, but
I mean
thanks for
like
anyway.
the stat one.
GPS stuff
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Does the assistant referee's pitch need to be marked out with 11 touchlines?
No.
The-
What they do, because they move different to us.
They move differently, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they've got a flag for a start. They do more sidestepping. They do more fast sprinting than what we do because their game just stop starts. They're always on the move.
Who's fitter?
Oh, the refs. Always the refs.
If you had a 100-metre race against an assistant referee,
Me,
yeah.
I'd have to pick the worst one.
Does an assistant referee, is their intention to be a referee?
No.
So, or do they?
yeah.
Is it a specific job?
Yeah, years ago you could do both jobs. So when I was coming through, I used to run the line in the Football League and referee in the conference. And obviously when you get to the Premier League, I chose to be a referee.
Do you have a kit man or is it?
Yeah, myself. Nobody else touches my kit in the house. Nobody.
Really?
Literally nobody. I can't be doing
It blew my mind that Crouchy doesn't even need to bring his own pants to the game. Like
This
that's
is
how
so
much they're-
bizarre that they didn't know that like the pants were provided.
No,
Yeah.
so from a referee's kit point of view, you just have that at home. You bring it with you.
Yeah,
and
just
then
get it
you're
ready.
all
When
in.
we get the kits colours through on the Tuesday before or Wednesday before.
Do you keep your own kit?
Yeah. Keep the
You
kit.
do?
Yeah.
So
keep the kit.
you don't. Oh.
What are you thinking?
No,
You think if it was at the stadium, we just leave it there?
I
No.
assume someone would bring your kit. Yeah.
Clean our own boots, do the lot.
Is there a boot deal for referees where you all get the same boot, or do you choose your boot?
No, because the kit's sponsored by Nike, we got a choice. We get given Nike boots. If you get given them, you have to wear them.
I did see a fourth official in. There was limited edition Hazard gold boots on. Quite a few of the players were after them. Couldn't get hold of them. And the fourth had them on.
Which is pretty bad, really.
Well, it did blow my mind that.
Was the fourth the motherfucking DRE?
Well, I don't know. I found that mind blowing. Where do you stand on refs in white boots?
Never happened.
Do you think you don't agree with that?
Well, what's the point? Get enough bad press it is, don't we?
Yeah.
This isn't to belittle in any way your role, but the thing you're looking for from your boots are totally different to what a footballer is looking from his boots, because at no point will you ever kick a ball with your feet.
Such a valid point. I never thought of.
But boots are boots, aren't they? They're not expensive, the boots we wear. So.
But you don't need, like, Crouchy might go for like a really soft boot or kangaroo skin
Yeah,
to
like-
give him a touch.
Yeah.
You're never going to kick a football.
I know, but I'll wear decent boots if I have to.
Is there a case then that the major sponsors should be making a better boot?
Like a liner's boot that makes them go quicker sideways, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a sideways stud.
Yeah, maybe the studs are
sideways
slanted.
stud.
Maybe the studs are
No,
slanted.
I think boots
so-
are boots, aren't they? You know, so it's...
Give us a price point, because you can pay 240 quid for a CR7 boot. At what price point are we having a referee's boot? Like 70 quid?
Yeah, around that.
About a 70
That's
quid
what
boot.
we get.
Still a lot.
Can a referee ever be friends with a player?
I think you can, yeah. I think if you're good friends with them, if you knew him for 15, 20, 30 odd years, probably have to declare to the Premier League to say, look, I used to work with him, or which does happen, or, you know, or we have to declare before the season starts what team you support so you don't go and referee him.
Do you?
I was just going to ask that. Like,
Otherwise, Tranmere would be top of the Premier League, wouldn't they?
Even you couldn't get Tranmere at the top of the Premier League, Mike.
At the moment, it's a good one, you're right.
so you wouldn't referee a team you support?
No, I wouldn't referee Tranmere. Michael Oliver wouldn't referee Newcastle. Andre wouldn't referee Aston Villa. But it's just not right for him, not fair on him to be doing stuff like that and put him under pressure.
I didn't know you were a Tranmere fan until I saw the pictures
Massive,
of you. What the fuck was going on?
It was just...
Basically, I was trying to find a question there, but you
I just lost it because
Yeah.
it was just unreal, to be fair. I just lost it, completely lost it.
Amazing, though. That's
Yeah.
great. I mean, it's great.
It's when you're in the stands and you're there. And
It's like when I go and watch him away from home, I won't sit in the main stand away from. I'll just go with the speckies. Like
That's where the fun is.
I'll be there at the weekend with all the Tranmere fans. Well, as much as I can, I will anyway.
I just love the idea that when you watch a football match, you're also watching the referee's performance.
It's hard not to. It's hard not to, because if I don't watch it, people say to me, tap me on the shoulder, Mike. I said, I know what you're going to say. I said, I can't help you. Whatever he's done, I can't go on the pitch and change his mind. Can
It's true. For Tranmere fans, you're their Stockley Park.
You are the ultimate arbiter.
Because even when I'm watching, I still can't get my head around sometimes why they've made that decision. When supporters are watching games when I'm refereeing, they probably think the same when I'm doing it.
Can you see the difference, like a difference in standing?
There is a difference. It's getting better, I think, because obviously they're focused on being referees and referees only. Obviously, there's a select group of referees in the Championship now.
Oh, well, hang on. Do you view them as a threat, though? At the moment, you are the leading referee, right?
A few years ago, yes, because, you know, that you think, oh, is he going to take me place? But I think because I'm the age I am now, I don't think I'll get kicked off unless I drop a complete bollock.
How long do you think you want to be in the game?
I'd like to think another season after this if I can do it. It's all about my fitness, so that's a problem. The older you get, you don't recover as quick. I used to be able to referee Saturday, Tuesday. If I do Saturday now, I'm probably just about right for the Saturday. I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I know that myself, but I've just got to try and work hard on a match day to try and get in the best position. But it's just so hard, just recovery and focusing. God knows what I'll do when I can't referee again.
You know, when you're watching Tranmere, have you ever sang the referee's a wanker?
I have a few times. Well, I have a few times.
Oh, mate.
No, I have a few times because when I'm watching it as a supporter. I mean, my daughter's worse than me
That's amazing.
because I can finish a game when I'm on a Premier League, get in the car at 6 o'clock, turn my phone on, and she said, "This ref's been fucking shit."
That changes everything for me, because then I think you do genuinely understand how it is from a fan's point of view.
Oh, without
about
a shadow of a
how
doubt.
a referee
Without a shadow
is
of
on
a
the
doubt.
pitch.
Because I know if I'm refereeing and I'm having a nightmare, I know players when they're having a bad game, they'll know they're having a nightmare. Think, Christ sake, come on, put that subs aboard, don't get me off. I know if I'm having a bad game. That's when you need the two guys on the line before the visual in my ear telling me to, like, you know, make a say you give a pen, and straight away you'll know within 5 minutes after you give the pen that you think, I think I've got that wrong, and just tell by the vibes of the players I've got it wrong. And it can affect you, but you just got to like block it out and move on.
What do your mates say about the job?
My mate just laughs sometimes. Have you heard what's going on here? And you know, you've been battered on the radio and the TV, and you look at the TV and think, what have they said? Oh, you've missed a pen. You think to yourself, not even inside the box. Because it's like when you're driving home, you hear the stuff on the radio.
Do you listen to all?
All the time. Actually, I just find it comical. I do.
That used to annoy me. There was always someone on the radio that hammered me, but I didn't. If I had a good game, I'd listen. If I didn't, I just wouldn't.
Because when you're driving home from a game for 4.5 hours in a car.
Got to listen to Radio 1, mate.
No, you're all right. You're okay.
You're all right.
I'll give that a miss. That's not
Straight red,
that's
that
not
bit,
my preset. You're all right.
Crouchy's done the robot again, because it's 100 Premier League goals for Peter Crouch.
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
Right, we do have to talk about VAR. We want to know what it's actually like at Stockley Park.
Quite intense. We've got our own room, 7 or 8 screens in there, 5 or 6 games going at one time. We're all in the same room, so we can can hear other referees next to you saying, just checking this, checking that. So it's, you can hear all stuff that goes on.
Do you have a game each?
Yeah, we have a game each, yeah. So I'll watch one game, I'll have an AVAR, which is an assistant referee who sits with me. So if I'm looking at, for instance, my game the other week at Tottenham Man City, where I thought Sergio Aurier played the ball from where I was, clearly played the ball, but obviously he hadn't. By the time they look at, Kevin Friend was looking for the footage, he's got to get all the replays, the other guy takes any live action in case something else happens while I'm resetting
Mike,
that.
can I ask, why are you wearing full kit?
I wish we were wearing full kit, but we just wear tracksuits, mate.
Oh, tracksuits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But why do you even have to wear a tracksuite?
Well, because we've got to look right, haven't we? You can't just turn up in a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt, can
So
you?
why not wear
about
your actual
nuns?
referee stuff? Imagine if VAR was run by nuns. Do you find out of habit that you pack your whistle?
What, going to VAR?
Yeah.
No.
Look at his face.
He's disgusted with
He's
you.
disgusted with me. I've just got a yellow card there.
Is it? Are you? I don't know. You're probably not allowed to discuss this, but are you? Is it good for the game? Are you happy? with
Yeah, I'm
it?
happy now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was 12 months ago. I wasn't for it. I was probably the one that probably wasn't keen on it because the referee did it for 20 years, and I've got someone in my ear telling me I made a mistake. It's just a massive change. But,
big
But
change.
over the last 6 months, I've kind of grown into it a bit more.
Can you? Is it frustrating as a fan? Because there's a lot of fans that are
I think as a
finding
fan,
it hard.
if you know how the VAR works, so if I was to support a Premier League team, I went to watch a Premier League game, and I knew there's a VAR view getting reviewed, I would know what the answer was going to be before it come on. Because you're aware of what's going on, you actually know what the process of what's actually happening.
How clear is the communication? I mean, is it quite a natural conversation? That happens
You don't
between
say
you,
Stockley
or-
Park, it's ref calling. It's not like the Eurovision.
Austria, come in for some scores, please.
No, it's just an open mic, just a general conversation.
Yeah.
So every time a challenge goes in the area, the VAR will say, just going to check that pen. So the game goes on until he says check complete. We know there's still going to be a review going on.
Are you ever there doing, just please fucking hurry up? The crowd are, they're starting to turn it. Just get a move on. Like,
With the decision.
Yeah.
The longer the decision goes on, you know you're going to be overturned. I would.
Yeah,
that's
oh,
more.
you get that
more.
feeling.
I think
That's
so.
standard.
I would think so.
Standard
And is that a bad feeling because you think, oh, I've got the wrong decision? Or is it a good feeling because you think we've got the right decision?
It's a good thing because you've got the right decision in the end. Like the one I had at Tom the other week lasted about 2 minutes before they got the proper angles to prove that he hadn't played the ball and he caught Aguero and he got to stop the game and give the penalty kick.
do you always say thank you afterwards, or do you have to?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for just letting me know I dropped the bollock. No, no, it's fine. No, you just say they'll just say thanks and that's about it. There's nothing else you can do. You just got to take it on the chin.
My big problem is the time it takes on little tiny offsides. They're the ones that wound me because I'm like, I don't want to be looking at lines and people's
Fingernails.
Yeah, the only
massive
thing I would
bulb all of a
argue with that is that if you go back 12 months and you had Sky or whichever TV company's going to show it, goal gets scored and they'll put the lines up and they'll dark on one screen, light on the other screen, and you'll find his foot's offside, and they say, well, if we had the technology, it should be offside. Now we've got the technology, they're now moaned that the foot's shouldn't be allowed. So they kind of be both ways to me.
We used to favour the attacker and now we favour the defender. And it's a big shift that.
For a former striker, you're angry with that, aren't you?
Yeah, I am a bit, yeah.
Do you ever play up to the cameras a little bit? Like,
I have been known to.
around VAR decisions and stuff like that, and you're stood there.
That must be a huge buzz. Live games happening and they go to you there.
That's what I mean.
And you go, right, we've got seconds to make a decision that influences it. It's a big, big thing to a lot of people.
Got millions of people just watching him stood there with a finger on his ear. Like, that's
I don't know why we put the
television.
fingers to the ear, by the way. We don't need to do that. It's just like...
Really?
Yeah, you don't...
You're not pushing it in so you can hear perfectly well without
Yeah, but
pushing your
it's
finger
just to show the crowd actually we're waiting for something.
Why? What we're waiting for?
Do you ever talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the game?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you?
All the time. Just stuff in general, like a few one-liners. I work with a couple of guys now. Darren Canu ran the line in the World Cup, and Dan Rowbotham is a young lad just come on. So me and Dan are talking about one or two jokes here and there, some songs from 80s, and Dan's just got, I have no idea what you're talking about, but let me know at half time. So we just a bit of banter when the game's dead. You wouldn't do it as the game's going on, but when the game's gone out for a corner or a goal kick or a throw-in.
Does the fourth official encourage you at times? It's like, you go, Mike.
Oh, yeah,
Or
without a shadow of a doubt. So, if I'm behind playing, I might say, work a bit harder or you need to do this or need to do that, Yeah, they just coach on the side. The referee's the same as us. Oh, yeah.
Well, they'll slate you. Come on, Mike.
Yeah. Liven up or just switch on a bit more. You let one or two
Really?
things go. Yeah, because if you don't, you're going to lose the game yourself. They've got to encourage. It's a bit like a manager on the sideline to one of the players, isn't it?
Do you hear assistant referees going, I'm blowing out my arse here?
Yeah. It's usually me
Give a
that
free
says,
kick.
It's usually me that says that. They find a free kick quick.
Do you? Who is the most respectful manager? Would you say?
This season, I would say Chris Wilder.
Really?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people.
I know you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, but it is. He just comes across nice guy. Potter at Brighton's the same. Eddie Howe's the same. They just come across well in the media as well, and they do speak well.
Have you ever sent someone off in the tunnel?
I've called a player back on once at Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United. Ooh. I can't remember the player's name though. And as he got subbed, he kicked the water bottle. He's wearing a yellow card.
Jermaine Johnson?
That's him. That's him. And
I knew he'd know that.
Come on.
And he went back in the game.
Don't worry about the Pat Lunch question. He's back.
He's back.
And as he went past the fourth official, he's booted the water bottle. And the fourth official said, right, I need him cautioned. He's already on a yellow. So he went to the tunnel and fair dues, he'd come down. I wouldn't have come down. He'd come down, went yellow, red, and off he went.
Wow.
There's no way I'd have come down.
What's the most bizarre situation you've been in, Mike, in all your years of refereeing?
I've had a couple of streakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago. But not
Good or bad?
How do you deal with a streaky? Is the protocol that you don't take them down?
Because you could go full chicken on them.
I could go. I had a streaker once. I'd done a friendly Man United against Milan, and she ran one length of the pitch to the other, and I did get my red card out.
Did you?
Got a bit of a bollocking.
Oh, that's what we want to see.
When Aguero scored that goal and he's taken his shirt off, and then you've had to give a yellow for the celebration, that must feel a bit shit as a referee.
Yeah, it is. It is, but
as a fan as well, you know.
Your
shirt would have been off. If it was Tranmere.
Oh, no danger. No danger. I'd have been devastated if I'd scored the goal. But they know the score. They know the situation.
It is the rules.
It is, unfortunately.
It's the rules.
What I would say is, if it had been his second yellow, I would have just took the hit.
Would you?
Oh, good man. I'd like to hear that.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And plus the fact there's no games a week after, last day of the season. Would have been for guys. So I wouldn't have missed any games, would I?
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
Mike Dean, first guest on the pod, big one. How do you think it went, lads? All good?
I mean, I could have talked to Mike Dean for at least another 3 hours, Chris.
There's a couple of things that I come away from that. One, Mike Dean's voice, discuss, because I didn't know what to expect.
More scouse than I thought.
Yeah, it was just... But then the second thing, how sound is Mike Dean for sharing all that with us?
You don't hear referees speak, ever. The fact that we've got him on I think is amazing. And how open he was and honest he was about the job he does. I'm sort of seeing the person behind the ref, you know? I never really thought about what he did or anything.
Well, I think that's the point where it got you, actually, Crouchy. The moment I saw you sort of changed during that was when he discussed how hard he'd worked to become a referee.
100%. That really resonated with me because I was thinking, 1985, right? He started his referee's journey. I was 4 years old. And he's still reffing at the highest level now at 51. You have to give him some kudos for that.
I mean, what a character the dude is.
What for me, watching Crouchy with Mike there was, sometimes, Chris, you get these documentaries where a German soldier will meet an English soldier, and the two will come together, and the German will say, my old friend, we're not so different, you and me. Or a prison guard will meet a man who's been on death row, and they find out that actually they thought they were totally different and they've got a lot in common. That's what you and Mike Dean were like this evening.
That's a nice way of putting it.
The Green Mile.
I never thought of the journey or how they got there, and I'm a little bit ashamed about that, really.
It's all good. We can all go too deep on it because, let's be honest, we've had a couple of drinks and we've been spending a bit of time with it.
About it.
But I will say this. I think we write off referees very often, and actually tonight we got to see the person, Mike Dean. We heard his voice. He speaks.
We did hear his voice, we did.
And he spoke a lot of good today.
So guests have worked for us, boys, haven't they? Do you think we should have more guests? Who's the biggest guest we could get on this podcast?
Oh, hello.
Right from the start, we got Dev from Corrie on, didn't we? He excelled. He was awesome. We did the Samrat. We've got Mike Dean on. I just think, we're evolving. We're constantly evolving. Can we go bigger? What kind of guests can we get?
Right, let's brainstorm this. McCutcheon?
Oh, Martin McCutcheon.
Where else could we take this?
Anyone.
Who's bigger than McCutcheon?
Who's bigger than Martin McCutcheon? Question of the day, guys.
I think we could go bigger. I think we could go.
Right, politics.
What about Barack Obama?
He's not up to much these days.
He's a
is he?
president.
How do we get him on?
What about royalty?
What,
Yeah,
go
back
bigger
on
than
that.
Obama?
I'm going bypassing actors, not asked about them.
Are you thinking?
Any actors?
Not bothered.
Fine.
Are you saying to me that you think, as a guest on that Peter Crouch podcast, we could have Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II?
To be fair, she did the Olympics.
She did the Olympics. Why not the podcast?
I
Chris,
think
can you sort this?
The Queen?
You're head of advertising. I do
Queen.
science. Crouchy does accents sometimes.
So our brainstorm, as in what other good guests would be good for the podcast, has
but I'm not
resulted
messing
in
up.
the Queen.
No, we're not.
And then you turn around to me and go, yeah, Chris, fine, that's the brief.
Is she on LinkedIn?
What I want to do
is
here.
ludicrous.
No, what I want to do here is get someone big.
What about The Crown? Have you seen that on Netflix?
You're thinking Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
I can get Chris Coleman.
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
That was that Mike Dean episode. So, Chris, you're going to get to work on the Queen, see if we can get her on board.
Yep, I'll do my best. She could be the royal ambassador, actually.
Yes.
We haven't got one of those yet, have we?
What's the next episode about?
Team bonding. I think that'd be a good one, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good idea. And this is usually the part where Foreskin tries to promote another BBC Sounds podcast. So what
Can we
have you
just
got for
not
us
let
today?
him this
yeah,
time? I don't give a fuck what's in front of you, Tom. You can piss off.
Five Live Boxing with Costello and Bunce. Two legendary boxing men.
two
They
men
know their
at
stuff.
it, skin on skin, chatting boxing. There it is.
Can read this one.
Ooh,
Sorry,
boxing.
it is good.
Your podcast next week.
We'll be back stronger next week.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.